truth is the best defense in libel suits. And the only one that could get mad at me would be Marla Maples, my ex-fiance. And but she'd have to subpoena Donald Trump in order to go to civil court. And he wouldn't be happy about that at all. No.
Hello, lovers, mothers, fathers, homies. You all right? You doing all right? I am chatting to Thomas Fitzsimmons today. We talk about his memoir titled An Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man. I read it, all of it. It's fascinating. Thomas served as an NYPD officer during the city's most crime-ridden, dangerous era when Ed Koch was mayor. He left fighting crime for a much safer and sort of sexier life, becoming a model and actor. Thomas definitely lived it up, let me tell you. The circles he moved in. Where there are beautiful women, there are powerful rich men. He knew Dodi Fayed, famous for dating Princess Diana. Apparently, he loved his cocaine. Yeah. Thomas and Trump dated some of the same women. It's the 80s. It was a very different time. You have to put this in context when reading the book. Like, don't get on your high horse, all right? I think I can safely say Thomas has had more lovers in a weekend than I've had in a lifetime. I was introduced to Thomas through Julie Gordon. I chat with her in episode 13. Do we even have... I don't put the episodes on there. Maybe they're automated. Anyway, they both modeled together and partied at the famous Studio 54. I would have loved to get in there. Oh, maybe they wouldn't even let me in. I don't know. I clean up pretty well, though, maybe. This is a very short chat. I usually do at least an hour and a half. Thomas has ADHD, so he requested we only go for 40 minutes. I had some tech issues in the beginning, bloody hell. There was so much more I wanted to know, there really was, but he did say he will be back if you want to hear more. So if you want to hear more, leave a comment on Spotify or follow me on Instagram and hit me up there. No one in particular podcast. Please subscribe too if you haven't already. Okay, Thomas Fitzsimmons, let's do this. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to get tech support in. My husband. Oh, what a way to start. I'm way more organized usually. And you sat there and you got ADHD and you sat there and waiting for me.
That's right. Like I said, I got ants in my pants. So.
Right? How are those ants doing?
Okay. All right. I only had 6 cups of coffee this morning, so we're sudden help.
Oh, thanks so much for joining me, Thomas.
Sure,
I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time. You have written over 17 books.
Well, actually, a lot of those are short stories. I've written 3 novels, a short story collection, and of course, the memoir. And what you've been seeing popping up are short stories that I wrote back in the early 2000s, and Amazon is now allowing you to publish them as singles. They're called Amazon singles. So what I did is I took them out of mothballs and rewrote them, updated them, and then published them one at a time. And they're selling well with only 99 cents. So they're quick reads, and I'm having some success for them. I'm glad I did that. Otherwise they just sit in the collection, and I sold a few copies of the collection, but now as individual stories, they're selling well.
Yeah. Excellent. And today we're going to discuss your latest book, your memoir, titled Thomas Fitzsimmons, An Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man.
Yes.
I've read it cover to cover.
Right.
You mention a lot of high-profile people in this book. Has anyone taken any legal action against you?
Well, they really can't. I mean, truth is the best defense in libel suits. And the only one that could get mad at me would be Marla Maples, my ex-fiance. And but she'd have to subpoena Donald Trump in order to go to civil court. And he wouldn't be happy about that at all. No.
No, he's a very busy man.
Very busy man. Yeah. And he's always been fed up with her antics anyway, especially after they got divorced. So
we'll talk more about that whole scenario. It's pretty juicy. You come from a proud Irish Catholic family.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Didn't you have an identical twin?
Identical twin brother. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
also a policeman. Yeah.
yeah. And in reading your book, I sensed that your family, especially men, I felt a deep sense of duty for their community, a calling to protect, perhaps. And it seems a lot of Fitzsimmons family members are in the NYPD. Do you have a couple more? Your brother, maybe an uncle?
I have my father did
Your
40
father.
years. I have a couple of uncles did 35 and 40 years. Nephews, no nieces, but but nephews. Some people in the end in the fire department too. So police work, fire work is like the priesthood. It's a vocation. You don't do it for the money, obviously, because there's no money in it. And so it's the vocation. Yeah, you have to want to do it. And I did it, and I worked in the worst place in the United States, the 41st precinct, which was nicknamed Fort Apache. Paul Newman did a movie about it back in God, I guess it was the 90s. It was called Fort Apache, the Bronx, um, which was a successful movie. But it was basically about the precinct I worked in, although
Wow.
A Hollywood clean version.
Yeah.
They cleaned it up.
Compared to what you saw, the drugs, the
Yeah, oh
politics,
yeah.
gangs.
The violence was unrelenting, and the poverty was unrelenting too. So it was a crazy
Yeah.
place to work.
You talk about a case in the book where the courts failed to uphold justice and you saw a pedophile back on the streets. Did this kind of thing happen often in your experience?
It happens. It's happening now. It's even worse now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a revolving door system of justice. Some nut just lit some poor woman on fire on a train. It turns out he had 70 arrests. He's a crazy person. He's very violent. But the politicians, the judges, they won't put him in jail. So now some poor woman is burned. I don't think she died, but ugh, those kinds of burns, she'll never recover. You
how
know.
does someone like that with prize like that get out? That is just,
Politics. It's
oh, that's
politics.
maddening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a political person, but the far left has taken over the Democratic Party and they're basically pro-criminal, pro-crime, anti-police. And the judges, this is a no bail policy. So you can't put anybody in jail. Here in New York City, we have a guy named Bragg, DA, the worst DA in the history of the city of New York. He won't prosecute criminals. Terrible.
Oh God, yeah, I mean, I'm sure obviously that shaped your view of the system and then your role within it. And
Well, I left the police department. It got to the point where I just felt like I wasn't doing any good. And I thought I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not appreciated, and no cops appreciated. But working in the ghetto like that, again, the unrelenting poverty, and just so I decided to try other things, and I'm glad I did.
yeah, I definitely believe police officers don't get the respect they deserve. They really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you eventually left NYPD to pursue an acting, modeling career. You've
Yep.
been,
Yep.
you were working out at the time, lifting weights, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I saw your physique. Very, very, very nice.
When I was a kid.
Yeah. Tell us about the creative way you got into modeling.
Actually, I was discovered by a friend, a guy who was a press agent at a major Hollywood studio, and I met him socially. And he started telling me, you could if you want to leave the police department, you could make money modeling and acting. And I said, okay. So he opened some doors for me, and I was successful. I mean, I tried hard. I mean, I wasn't one of these guys who walked in and Eileen Ford said, "Oh, you're perfect. We have to have you." I worked at it, and I had to get the pictures together, and I had to get, sponsored. Basically, clients had to say they would use me. So I worked very, very hard at it, and I was successful. I was able to make my living at it for about 12 years. I went from the modeling into doing TV commercials. I was what they call an on-camera spokesman. So I did all the talking. Um, and I did 150 or so commercials in just a few years. So it was lucrative, and I had so much fun. As Julie Gordon told you, it was the most fun time of our lives because I knew Julie in those days. We modeled together. We were both at the Ford agency, so and I knew her from Studio 54, of course, and yeah, just had a great, great, great time.
Yeah, she said it was a blast.
Yeah, she was. It was.
Yeah. I think you two were married on the cover of Bride
Yeah,
many
we did
times.
Modern Bride, I think it
Not a
was, and there was
bride.
another Bride magazine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we did a couple of cigarette commercials too together. I don't know. We all worked so much in those days. We knew each other, and then you go on this job and that job, and then you go to the next one. You see her there, you see her there. So, yeah, but fun times.
Since you had a background in the NYPD, you could definitely read a room unlike any civilian. And you did a lot of private investigator work
Yeah,
while you
yeah.
were modeling.
Yeah, I always did. Clients were always asking, once they found out about my background, they would frequently come up and say, "Look, it's this guy is dating my daughter. He's a weirdo. Would you do me a favor and check him out? I'm getting shaken down. A guy might have a restaurant bar on First Avenue in Manhattan, and the gangs are coming in and they're trying to shake him down. So they'd ask me to take care of it, which of course I would. So I was always kind of had my fingers in that stuff. And then sometimes the celebrities would need personal security bodyguards, and I formed a company, and I did that. So it was always PI work. It was always in the background. I was always kind of dabbling in it.
Yeah. Oh my God, such a funny story. Tell me the story when Gwyneth Paltrow hired you.
Oh, it's kind of embarrassing, by the way. Yeah, yeah. We went to pick up her daughter. She was in ballet. I think we're on Broome Street, in Lower Manhattan, and we were waiting outside. I think we got the daughter. I got the daughter in the car, and she said, "Stay put. We got to wait for my husband." And I didn't do my background on her husband. I knew she was married, but I had no idea who he was. I mean, Coldplay. I never heard of Coldplay. So, and so I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm kind of imagining what's her husband going to look like. I mean, she's so beautiful. I said, this guy's got to be, movie star handsome. And here comes this derelict. Wants to come over. He comes over to the car. He's got a sock on his head, one of those stocking caps, and he obviously hasn't showered in a long time. And he goes to get into the car. So naturally, I knock him back, and she starts screaming at me, "That's my husband! That's my husband!" I'm going, "Where? Where? Him?" And he's standing there. He's holding his chest. Well, what are you doing, mate? So anyway, she never called me to bodyguard her anymore after that. That was
That's
the end of
hilarious.
that.
That's hilarious. You mistook her
She
husband
was a
for a
lovely.
derelict.
Yeah, she was lovely, though. I know she gets a lot of bad press on occasion, but she was very, very good to work for. I liked her a lot.
She does
Yeah.
actually get a lot of bad press. That was
Yeah.
refreshing to hear.
No, she was a sweetie. She was a very nice person. And when you do bodyguard these celebrities, you get to know them pretty fast, and what their attitudes are. And Gwyneth was very, very sweet. She was one of the nicest people to work at for, as is Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is just wonderful. Catherine Zeta-Jones, wonderful people to work for, you know.
Yeah, that's good to hear. They
Yeah.
say it's who you know in New York, and you certainly knew a lot of people. And
Well, you can't help it. You can't
yeah,
help it. You go to the right places. I mean, I was in Studio 54 all the time, and I met nothing but celebrities. And then Elaine's, which is it's closed now, the famous celebrity hangout. That's down the street from my house. So I was there almost every evening, usually around closing time.
yeah, that was your local spot.
You
I
get
wanna,
your
I wanna,
nightcap in.
I wanna read it. Something you wrote about Elaine's, and I was just like blown away. This is your time in New York. I think this just illustrates it so well. I walked
Yeah.
into bustling lanes. I looked through the crowd at the tables, saw a few of the usual bold faced names. Al Pacino was sitting at table 7 with Diane Keaton and another couple. Miramax honcho Harvey Weinstein was sitting at table 8 with Godfather author Mario Puzo. An assortment of organized crime figures were at table 10. A group of local and federal cops were at table 6. Elaine herself was at table 4, kibitzing with actors Michael Caine and Roger Moore and two ladies. I mean, that is just
That's
that's the
Elaine's.
New York. Yeah, that's the New York you grew up in too. I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lived in like the Upper East Side, and I would pass the lanes also a
Yeah.
lot. And I know it was an institution. It was a popular
Yeah.
hangout for celebrities.
Yeah.
Can,
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about Elaine?
I wasn't that close to her. She wasn't warm and friendly all the time. She was moody. And
Mm.
you know, and I didn't want to bother her because she was a celebrity in her own right, and people were always schmoozing with her and stuff. I just never did that. I knew her, she knew me. You know, hug, hug, kiss, kiss. But you know, I never considered her a friend of any kind. I was a paying customer, and I behaved myself. If you don't behave yourself, you're 86. So
Yeah.
I behaved myself, and that's very important. And so, and I was always dressed up. We were always in a shirt and tie in those days. Everyone wore suits. So she liked seeing me come in the door, you know, because again, I knew how to behave. So,
You basically had a front row seat to what led to President Trump's divorce from Ivana and his remarriage to Marla Maples.
yeah.
Tell us how you first met Donald Trump.
Met him back in, I guess it was 74, 75. There was a very, very upscale restaurant in those days called Maxwell's Plum on First Avenue and 64th Street. Um, just a glittering watering hole, very expensive in those days for what it was. But that part of Manhattan, the Upper East Side, was the single scene back then. That's where all the singles hung out. And Donald was just another customer. So I got to know him as a customer. You know, I saw him there almost every day when, you know, when I was there. We're both after the same thing, which is dating and, you know, meeting beautiful young ladies. And there was no shortage of beautiful ladies at Maxwell's Plum. So eventually we got to know each other pretty well. We double dated. And of course, we've dated several of the same women over the years, uh, and Marla Maples being one of them. And but yeah, the friendship started from there, and it you know, went on from there. You know,
Yeah.
typical male friendship. I mean, sometimes I wouldn't see him for a couple of years, and then suddenly we're at a party together, and we started hanging out. And like Malcolm Forbes, he was a financier. He had a beautiful yacht over on the west side called the Highlander, and I'd see Donald at all those parties, and so you know, we'd hang out. Yeah.
Did you marry Marla Maples or you just
No,
engaged?
no, we were engaged. We
Yeah.
were engaged. It was her idea. It was like a sham engagement because she was living with me, and her grandparents, strict Southern Baptists. Marla had said they're going to go crazy. They realized I'm living with a guy. We're not at least engaged. I said, all right, we'll get engaged. No big deal. So we got engaged.
And while you were dating Marla, there's a part in your book where she physically like attacked you while you were driving, almost causing like a head-on collision. It's very
Yeah, yeah,
frightening.
yeah.
And
We
there
got in an
were,
argument. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there were a few accounts in your book of Marla like losing her temper.
Yeah, yeah, she had issues, and she'd have these breakdowns, and she was, yeah, she punched you in the face. You know, she was one of those. I've never struck a woman, and so all you could do was run. In the car that day, I couldn't run. She just hit me right in the face. I was, yeah, swerved into an oncoming lane. I pulled the car over and I dragged her out of the car and just said, "Screw you!" And I drove off. I left her at the side of the road. I came back within 5 minutes, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, that's scary. Yeah, like you
yeah.
said, it was almost a head-on collision. You had other people in the car too.
Yeah, I had two people in the back seat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You open your memoir with a scene in which Marla and Donald were fighting in a hotel
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Can you explain that scene? Was their fighting playful or was it like fury?
It sometimes it started playfully, but Marla had a temper on her. Donald would egg her on. He was one of those, you know, once he realized he was pissing her off, he would push harder, and then she'd go crazy. She'd throw things at him. She'd throw punches at him. She'd pull his hair. She was, and that wasn't an unusual confrontation they had. He had that was the weekend he was supposed to announce their engagement. We were out in Atlantic City at the Taj Mahal, and he was supposed to announce their engagement to the world. And I forget why he reneged, but he did. And you know, she went crazy because she had her family there, her mother was there, her grandparents were there, her friends. Everybody was getting ready for this big announcement, and even the press knew about it. But then Donald didn't do it, so she went crazy. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a few stories of
Yeah.
Marla losing it.
Yeah. And he was like me. He just covers up and runs.
Yeah, I mean as you would,
All you
right?
do is put your hands up and run away.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you describe some ways in which Trump used you to help keep his affair secret with Marla?
It was pretty well documented in all the newspapers in those days. I mean, he snuck around. He was a businessman. He didn't do the 8-hour day thing. He did the 20-hour day thing. So Ivana never knew where he was, and she wouldn't question him anyway. She was European, and the man was the boss. So if he was out all night or if he had a flight to Atlantic City, she would never question him. She was surprised when she found out about the affair. Not necessarily that it was an affair, but that it was serious. She found out through the newspapers. I think Liz Smith might have told her, the gossip columnist Liz Smith or Cindy Adams. I forget which gossip columnist told him, but one of them alerted her to the affair, and she was shocked. She
Yeah,
was
I'm
shocked.
sure. It's always the
Yeah,
wife is the last to know.
yeah, 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 yeah. Really.
Sadly. There was a lot of interactions you've had with Trump over the years. You documented it in your memoir. We obviously can't go into all of them here, but I definitely encourage listeners to read your book. I just want to read what you wrote about his personality, because I think you hit the nail on the head with this one. So this is what you've wrote. I've always known that Trump wasn't like anyone else. He had his own abstruse standards, played by his own set of ever changing rules. His loyalties, personal and businesses, were reserved for whomever he considered to be a winner at any given moment. And he was quick to turn his back on anyone he perceived to be a loser. And so his allegiances were fluid, undefined, a matter of shifting conveyances, which didn't necessarily make him a bad person, just different. More transparent than others of his ilk, that's for sure. I mean, did you ever think he would become president of the United States?
Um, I don't think it thought ever crossed my mind, although there is an author who claims, Wayne Barrett is his name. He wrote a book about Trump, and he claims that I am the one who told Donald in the beginning that he should become president, and then I convinced him that he should try to do it someday. I don't remember that conversation. So, and I never met Wayne Barrett, so where he got it from, I just don't know. But no, I never thought he would go into politics. He was too opinionated, and but used politically to me, he was commonsensical. I mean, a lot of things. He's been complaining about the Chinese and tariffs since the 70s. I mean, I can remember him saying how the country gets screwed by all these people with these tariffs and China. He would always rally against China. But I never saw him as a political human being. He was more into business, his real estate business.
Yeah, yeah. I think the media is just out for him unnecessarily, so he just can't do anything right.
No, and they keep trying. I mean, he's a fascinating character. I mean, like him or hate him, he's an inspiration because he just doesn't give up. I mean, they tried to shoot him. They tried to indict him, hit him with criminal charges, keep him off the ballots. They just make up these crazy accusations. Nothing sticks, but it's because he won't give up, and that's inspirational, I think, to anyone. I mean, again, love him or hate him, you got to admire his tenacity. And again, he won't give up. He'll never give up, and the left will never give up trying to destroy him. But we've got him for 3 more years, and they're stuck with him. But they're gonna continue trying to destroy him. I mean, that's what they do. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing.
I believe you. I think
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like talking about politics the same with you, but I actually think I don't know if anyone's out for to protect the citizens. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
we are the last people they actually think about when
yeah,
making any
yeah,
legislation,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Absolutely. It's money and power. And Trump is an outsider, and he's interfering and will continue to interfere with their cash flow. That's their only problem with him. If he left them alone and let them pull all the numbers that they're pulling, all the under the table money coming in, all the stock swindles they get involved in, they could care less what he does. They don't care about us. He's interfering with the powers that be, and their cash flow. And to me, that's their only issue with them.
Yeah, he's definitely against the status quo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is rife though in politics. It really is.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, we've got 6 minutes left. You did so well. We did this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I ask all my guests the same question when we come to the closing of a conversation. I like to know what music you listen to, like what moves you.
Music.
Yeah. As a writer, do you even listen? Do you have to have quiet when you write?
Oh yeah, I am dead quiet. I listen to the music in the gym, and I'm more of a. I love a southern group called Alabama.
Yeah.
Uh, I love them, and I love a crooner named Bobby Caldwell. He's a crooner, you know. Also, I love Rod Stewart,
Yeah.
especially his American Songbook albums. I love that kind of stuff. I'm more into mood music, and you know, I don't like rap, and I don't like hard rock or heavy metal or any of that kind of stuff. Just gives me a headache. No,
Hey,
and
fair
I never
enough.
did. I like more romance music. Like I'll go to there's one of my hangouts now is called the Hotel Carlisle. I don't know if you've heard of it on
Yes,
Madison
yes.
Avenue. I go to Bemelman's bar and let's listen to piano music there. It's just beautiful. It's peaceful. I like peaceful romantic music. That's basically what I'm into.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time today,
You're so
Thomas.
welcome.
I
My
really
my pleasure,
appreciate
Lizzie.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
sure,
you.
sure.
Thank
Okay,
you so much. Thank
my
you.
pleasure.